Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. So, my friends at Yarnspirations.com. Out and about, crochet tote today. Only one ball is needed, a Bernat Maker Splash. This yarn does change color on its own. You can see that within the sample here. Using a 6mm size J crochet hook, this is practically a beginner's level pattern, and we're going to be going through the steps one by one. So let's begin and start with our beginning, and let's go. So let's get started. We have a tube shape kind of yarn. It's a knit piece and it's just puffed ever so slightly with a bit of cotton. Let's create a slip knot and just create a longer tail so that you can hide that in with the tapestry needle later, and insert your hook in, and you need to chain 39. So let's begin to do that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go all the way to 39 and meet me back here in a moment. Let's begin the first round. So what's going to happen is that we're going to work across the chain, and at the end of the chain we're going to turn around and come around the underside of the chain to create a circle. Okay, so you're going to go second chain from the hook, grab the back hump of the chain because it just makes sense for this case. So this is 1, 2, and grab the back hump and place in 2 single crochet in this same one. So now what I need you to do along the chain, along the back hump, you'll see that it's up, there's stitch, stitch, stitch. You're just going to single crochet until you get to the last one along the end of the chain, and I'll pick you there up in a moment. So put me on pause now. I'm coming up close to the end of the chain, and in the last chain right here, you're going to place in 3 single crochet there. So we have 1, and keep rotating the project around, 2 and 3. So it naturally wants to turn on its own because you're putting too many stitches in one chain. So you're going to start right here as your first stitch, going all the way back to the start. See the straggler? Lay it down on top of the line, and so when you start right here and start single crocheting back to where you started, you're going to go right up over top of that straggler to trap it in. Okay, so just continue to do that. I'll see you close to the end of the row in just a moment. So just crochet along, and so you can see that you've come around, you've circled, and come back. So I'll see you near to the end of the round in a moment. So I'm coming all the way across, and I'm looking for the bottom of the 2 single crochets, and it's right here. So you're going to single crochet into that one, and that's your very last stitch. So what I need you to do is pull up a loop and grab a spare piece of yarn and pull a strand through it. We're going to work in a continuous round for the next several rounds in order to make the base of this. Okay, and so we're not going to join it to the beginning, and we're going to start right fresh in the next one here. So we're going to begin round number 2 and the repeats. So for the next 8 rounds, from 2 all the way and repeating that, so you'll do it once and then repeating it 7 more times, so a total of 8 times. You're just going to start in the very next stitch, and you're just going to single crochet around. So you don't need to add in any extra stitches or subtract. You're just going to continue to circle, and this will make a nice base and strong base of your bag. So as you go all the way across and around, you'll just continue to use each stitch as its own and continue around. So do this, I'll meet you at the end of this one round, and then you'll repeat that over and over, and the bottom of the bag will have been completed by the end of this section. I'm coming around on round number 2, and I can see the stitch marker is where I finished off in the last round. So I'm going to crochet into that one, okay, right here, and I am going to then move up the stitch marker. So don't pull it out of this hole, just pull a strand through. So if you ever have to reverse out, you'll know where all the starts and stops are for the rounds. Okay, so just pull it tighter again, and you need to repeat the last round then 7 more times, and I'll be back in a few seconds for that, but I have to do that off camera. I'll be right back. So I now have the repeating section done, and I'm ready for the next round, which will increase the round only by 6 stitches to get it a little bit bigger. So what I need to do is that when we start in the next one, we're going to start with 2 single crochet into the same one. So 1 and 2 share the same one, and then the next 12 are by itself. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, So then the repeat starts again. So the next one will have 2 into the same one, and then the next 12 would be by itself. And I need you to repeat that all the way around to the very beginning, and I'll meet you there on showing you how to finish. So once I came all the way around, I need to slip stitch it to the first single crochet that we started with. You can stop using this tail end at this time, and we're ready for the first round of doing mesh work. And there's a total of 9 rounds that make the mesh for the body of the bag, and we'll begin that next. So we're still working on the right side of the bag, and this means the outside of the bag. And we're going to start right where we are in chain 5, which is then treble plus 1 stitch or 1 chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that's considered a treble, and the 5th chain is considered a chain 1 space. You're going to skip the next stitch and treble into the next. And when you treble, you wrap the hook twice. So skip the first one, go to the second, and going in, pull through 2, 2, and 2, and it creates open mesh just like this. So to do the next one, chain 1 before you start, skip the next one, and treble into the next. These mesh work is going to be very simple going around. So chain 1, wrap twice, skip 1, going in, pull through 2, 2, and 2. Please go all the way around doing your mesh work for round number 1. So I'm coming all the way around, and I'm going to be hitting that other mesh that I started with, and just still skipping every other stitch on the main row. Okay, so we're going to skip the last one, and we're going to chain 1, and you are going to go to the 4th chain up on the first chain. So unlike other patterns, what we have is that we normally just chain 1 and we do what we need to do and we continue in the same round. But what we need to do now is to turn it backwards this way. So we're now looking at the inside of the bag from this perspective, and then you're going to do exactly what you just did, but in the opposite way around. The other difference is that you're going to be working within the mesh work itself. So you're going to chain 5, 3, 4, 5. That's your treble in a chain 1 space, and you're going to go and treble into the tops of each of the other trebles that are already there. So you're going to make sure you wrap that hook twice. So you got to remember at the end of the rounds that you have to turn your work around. Okay, so when you get back at the end of this round, we have to turn it around again, and we'll be back on the right side of the work. And so we need to continue to do this mesh work until you can see 9 rounds of the mesh itself. So this is 1, this is number 2 going in, and there has to be 9 layers of that. And I'll see at the end of this round anyway, just to verify that you are turning it around and going in the opposite direction. And just filling in those trebles with trebles, chain 1, and this is the start. So the 4th chain up, so 1, 2, 3, 4, just make sure you leave that empty chain 1 by itself and just slip stitch there. So then you have to turn your project around again. Now we're looking at the right side of the work, and we restart again. So you chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just start trebling in the top of the trebles using a chain 1 space in between. So I need you to do this until you can count 9 rounds completely, and I will see you back here in a few seconds from now, but I got to do this offline, and I'll be right back. I'm finishing up the 9th round, and I'm just coming into my last one, chain 1, and slip stitch to the 4th chain up. So I should be, if you were done it right, you should be on the right side of the work right now. So you don't want to turn it to be in to do it to crochet from the inside, looking at the inside. So you want to stay on the outside of this and move on, and we're going to move up to doing the top edging and the handles next. So there's 6 rounds to do before we get to the handle part, and we're going to chain up 1 and single crochet in the same one that you did the slip stitch with. Then you're going to single crochet into the next chain 1 space, and then single crochet into the next treble. Go into the space, to the treble, and do this all the way around for round number 1 of the top edging. So I'm coming back around to solid the edging, and in the next round what we need to do is that we need to start doing a decrease and to make it look consistent like how we started. So make sure you come right into the last space, slip stitch to the beginning, single crochet, and let's do round number 2. In round number 2, we're going to do a decrease of 6 stitches all the way around, and we're going to get it consistent with the very beginning on how we started. Chain 1, and you're going to put the 2 together. So go into the first stitch, yarn over, pull through, hold it, and then go into the next one, in, pull through, and then pull through all 3, and that's a 2 together single crochet. So the next 12 in a row will each be a single crochet. So we have 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So then we start the repeat again. So the next 2 are together. So going in, pull through, go into the next one, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's a 2 together single crochet, and then do the next 12 the single crochet, and continue that around for round number 2. So I've done that all the way around, and I am going to then slip stitch to the beginning single crochet to finish. So the next 4 rounds will each be a single crochet round. Okay, so when you start, just chain up 1 and single crochet into each of the stitches going around. Okay, so please do that all the way around, and then slip stitch and do rounds number 3, 4, 5, and 6. So a total of 4 rounds of single crochet, and I'll be right back in a moment. Okay, I'm finishing up the 4th round here in the top, and just coming last stitch and slip stitch to the beginning. So we're going to move on in the pattern now to the handle placement, which will complete our handles for that section next. So let's begin the handle placement. Round number 1, we're going to be placing in our handles as we go, and once we get that established, the rest of this pattern is pretty much easy to follow right to the end. Chain up 1, and you're going to single crochet in the first 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You're now going to chain 68, which will be the first handle. So I'm just going to do the first 5 with you, and then you can do the 68. So just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go all the way to 68, and meet me back here in a moment. So I'm now at 68. I did not move the pattern from my desk so that this chain is not twisted in any weird way. So coming back down here on the round, I want to skip the next 19 stitches. So starting in the next empty one, and I'm going to just start counting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. So the next one is right where we want to start. Okay, and right in that one, we're going to single crochet then that one. So we're going to do that one and 19 more, so total of 20. So this is 1 of 20, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Once you're here at the 20, I'm going to chain another 68. So I'll do the first 5 with you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go all the way to 68. Okay, 68 is now done. Coming back down to the line, skip the next 19. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19, and come to the next one. And this will be taking you to the end. So just coming into the next one, single crochet, and there should only be 10 left. Hopefully for me there is. So 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. It's a miracle day today. People buy a lottery ticket. The host is actually knowing what he's doing. Okay, slip stitch to the first, and let's begin our first round. And the first round is going to establish the actual stitch work going around the chain work, and that'll be happening next. So we're going to start the next one, and we're going to chain 1, and you're going to single crochet the single crochets that you can see. So there's technically only 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So what you want to do in the chain work, you know that there's 68 of them, and I'd recommend that when you go into the chain work that you have 2 strands on top. Normally I like to go into the back loop of the strand, but you don't want to do that. So starting into the next one right here, you're going to go and do 68 single crochets into the chain. So I would count it just for consistency. So just making sure that 2 strands stay on top, 1 on the bottom. So that's 1. So grab the next one, making sure that there's 2 on top, 1 on the bottom. So I don't recommend going into the space itself. Stick to the chain work and count and do your 68 of these all the way until you hit to the next area of single crochet that's back down on the brim. So I'm gonna put this to my lap because it's easier, and I'll see you there in a moment. So 68 took me right to the chain before the single crochet, so that's real. And then you're just going to continue to single crochet along the single crochets until you get to the next chain work on the other side, and then you go up over top of that one and 68 into those single crochets all together for those chain work, and then come around to the opposite side to where we had started. Please continue to do this all the way around. So I'm coming all the way around, and the rest is going to be history now. Slip stitch to the beginning. You have 4 more rounds left. And so you're just going to chain 1 and single crochet all the way around. So now that you've gone over top of the handles, you're going to go on the main base and just follow this all the way around until you get back to the beginning. And then you're just going to do 4 rounds of that. It's going to take a lot longer because you have 68 chains on each of the handles, but it's well worth it. And if you go cheap on the handles and not do enough rounds, then it becomes a very flimsy handle. So make sure you do your 4 rounds of single crochet, and I will see you at the end of that in just a moment. So chain 1 and single crochet around, and do that 4 times. So I'm now finishing my repeat up. I'm going to slip stitch to the beginning. I've already trimmed my yarn. Just pull through, and we are going to place this through a tapestry needle. Because this is a tube shape, it's a little harder to do, but nothing that can't be solved. And you're going to turn it to the inside of the bag, and you are going to weave it through back, okay, from the direction that you just came. And the secret to weaving in yarn, if you weave it back and forth 3 times, it's hard to follow out. So normally I would recommend splitting the plies, but in this case, because it's a tube shape, it's really difficult to do. So maybe you want to just weave it back and forth a total of 3 times. Okay, or sorry, 4 times. An extra time is good. So the project can never stretch in 3 directions at one time. So that's why we do that. Okay, and then once you have that done, you can just safely cut out your yarn, and you can enjoy your new bag here. And this is their Bernat Maker Splash new bag to enjoy in the color called Concrete. That's it for today. We hope you've enjoyed.